We often assume that humans are the pinnacle of Earth's biological success. But look closely, and our relationship with this planet starts to look more like a struggle for survival than a natural fit. Most species have behaviors that seem strange, but humans exhibit physical, biological traits that are out of sync with every other terrestrial animal. This biological disconnect has led some researchers to wonder if we actually developed under the conditions of this world, or if we were shaped by a different environment entirely. Consider our daily physical vulnerabilities. Unlike almost every other land-dwelling mammal, human skin lacks natural protection against the sun. We are uniquely susceptible to radiation damage from our own star. Then there is our upright bipedal posture. It places a specific gravitational stress on our skeletal structure that results in near-universal back pain, a mechanical flaw rarely found in other mammals. This animated diagram illustrates an anatomical comparison of a human pelvic bone structure versus a quadrupedal mammal. Notice the geometric constriction. The ratio of human skull size to the maternal pelvic opening makes our reproduction disproportionately dangerous. Because of these flaws, some propose that our physiology would be better suited for a planet with lower gravity or a different atmospheric composition, conditions where these physical burdens wouldn't exist. These physical misalignments suggest a structural anomaly in our history that goes beyond our skin and bones, pointing toward a massive shift in how we evolved. The standard rule for biology on Earth is that change happens over millions of years through gradual, observable adaptation. This line graph maps the slow, flat evolutionary trajectory of early primate cognition against a sudden vertical exponential spike in human cranial capacity. We are the only species that breaks this linear model. Mainstream science looks for terrestrial causes for this expansion, like the discovery of fire or the protein-rich diets that allowed our brains the energy to grow. But the speed and scale of this cognitive leap have led to a more radical proposal, that an external genetic intervention acted as a catalyst to accelerate our development. This unprecedented expansion of the human mind is the primary gap in our history, one that makes the idea of an extraterrestrial origin mathematically and historically possible. This is where we encounter the Ancient Astronaut Theory, which suggests that advanced beings visited Earth thousands of years ago to influence our biological trajectory. Across multiple early civilizations, we find records like this one. These ancient texts specifically describe interactions with beings that descended from the sky. We also see the physical evidence in mathematically precise megastructures. These buildings challenge the known technological capabilities of the primitive eras they belong to. For those who study the Ancient Astronaut Theory, these records and structures are read as literal accounts of our early development, linking our cognitive leap to external contact. The records and structures of the ancient world align with the timeline of our own development in a way that challenges the standard narrative of human origin. Despite these anomalies, we have to look at the scientific consensus. Currently, there is no concrete DNA evidence that verifies a non-terrestrial origin for humans. Instead, science relies on the mechanisms established by Charles Darwin. He provided an explanation for our existence that requires no outside intervention. Darwin's original I think diagram illustrates evolutionary descent, showing how all life branches out from common ancestors over time. In this model, biological flaws are the price of progress. We sacrificed spinal stability to free our hands, allowing us to build tools. Mainstream science successfully explains our presence through millions of years of verifiable genetic mutations, making the alien hypothesis unnecessary for most researchers. However, even with the logic of Darwinian evolution, paleontologists admit that there are still significant empty spaces in the human fossil record. It is within these undocumented periods of our history that radical theories of our origin continue to find a place. Until we can account for every step of our own history, the question of whether we are truly from this world remains unanswered.